Hi, my name is Trey Adams, and the topic that I am doing is racism in America. And the reason that I chose this topic is because it is something that affects me in my life, and it's something that will affect me for the rest of my life. So it's important to know the history of it and relate it to music with what we're going to be doing today in my AV files. And so I had 2 songs, and then I had 2 interviews, and I looked at a song by Tupac, a song by Kendrick Lamar, and then I had a video of James Baldwin, and then also a video of LeBron James. So all these videos and interviews, music and interviews connect with racism in America, and I think that throughout this project I've learned that that it's not something that you can really say is changed, but you can only say that it has progressed. It's changed, but it's not changed to the point where it needs to be. It's just progress, and that's what we've come to right now. So I think that's what this project's gonna clearly talk about, and I hope you enjoy it. Is it wickedness? Is it weakness? You decide.
So I was taking a walk the other day, and I seen a woman, a blind woman, pacing up and down the sidewalk. She seemed to be a bit frustrated, as if she had dropped something and having a hard time finding it. So after watching her struggle for a while, I decided to go over and lend a helping hand, you know. Hello, ma'am. Can I be of any assistance?
In this video, you can see that Kendrick Lamar clearly is talking about racism and things that went on in his childhood. And a little bit of background on Kendrick Lamar is that he grew up in a rough area of America, and he kind of felt like him and the people around him were stuck in their area, which was very poor, bad streets, a lot of crime, poor buildings, just the infrastructure is poor, and he just kind of felt like they had no way out of it, so they were always led to a life of crime and drugs like that. And that's because the way he thinks that's just the way America's made in some parts, and it's made to put a young black man down. And I think that this video clearly states maybe kind of like his reaction to it, and kind of overviewing his life and the come up on what he's done so far in it. And I think that even though he made it out, he's still talking about how ridiculous it is when he does say, damn, that so many people still are in those areas of America that he grew up in that are poor, and what it's called the hood. So, yeah.
Immune to any social issues. Unfortunately, you just had an incident. Somebody spray paints the N-word across the gate of your house in Los Angeles. This is where you live in the summer.
Yeah.
This is where your children sleep. What did it feel like to you?
Surprising, no. because I still understand how race plays a huge part in America. And for me to be sitting here on the eve of the finals, one of the biggest sporting events in the world, and I have to answer questions about racism, it just lets me know that it's still here, and we should all know that. And if it takes for someone to spray paint my gate and use that derogatory term, that hate on my family, to shed a light on what the real issue is in the world, then so be it. And I think, and I sit here and say that I believe that's why, women like Emmett Till's mom left the casket open and showed everybody in the world what her son went through because of hate. So I look at it and it hurts, and it's like unfortunate, and I got to sit here and I got to talk to my kids about what it means to grow up being an African American, a black kid in America. If that can shed light on the whole situation, and we can continue the conversation, because no matter how much money you got, no matter how famous you are, no matter how many people admire you, at the end of the day, being a black man is very frightening, and it lets us know that we got so much further to go to be equal in this country.
How did you talk to your kids about this? What happened this week?
Well, the fact that I'm not home kind of hurts me a lot, because I can't actually sit there and talk to them face to face. But my wife is going to do a great job of that. My mother is there, my mother-in-law as well. FaceTime is a great thing for me right now as well. So my boys are old enough now, and I'm gonna give them the blueprint of life. But at the end of the day, they're gonna have to walk their own course as well. And I hope they understand that. I just hope they understand that at the end of the day, you have to always shed light on things that may seem like it's at its darkest point.
LeBron James is a NBA basketball star, obviously one of the greatest in the world. So he has a lot of influence on people, and he is a good influence in the community of the NBA, and people respect him for that. So here he just talks about a little bit of what he's experienced with racism in America today. This is in 2017, and he just talks about how it really, it affects him. It doesn't just affect him, it affects his family. He wants to raise them in a world where they're ready for something like this when they're older. So he's kind of planning for this kind of racism thing. It's not something that's where it needs to be, and it could get a lot better. And I think when he talks about writing that word across his house, it says that even though he's a millionaire athlete, that does not excuse him, even where he lives in a fancy neighborhood, that does not excuse him for his skin color, and that's something that's prevalent that you see in America today throughout multiple categories. So I think that ties into racism in America perfectly.
I see no changes. I wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself? I'm tired of being poor, and even worse, I'm black. My stomach hurts, so I'm looking for a purse to snatch. Cops give a damn about a Negro. Pull a trigger, kill a nigga, he's a hero. Get a crack to the kids, who the hell cares? One less hungry mouth on the welfare. First ship them dope and let them do the brothers. Give them guns, step back and watch them kill each other. It's time to fight back, that's what Huey said. 2 shots in the dark, now Huey dead. I got love for my brothers, but we can never go nowhere unless we share with with each other. We gotta start making changes and learn to see me as a brother instead of two distant strangers. And that's how it's supposed to be. How can the devil take a brother if he close to me? I love to go back to when we played as kids, but things change, and that's the way it is.
That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh,
So, this song, Changes, originally done by Tupac, and this is just a cover because he's dead now. His death early in his young 30s, but he had a strong impact on the rap community and the African American community at that time, just because of the things that he rapped weren't just about money and girls. It had an impact, and it was stuff that he went through in his life and struggles that he went through, and talked about the disadvantage that he had because of where he grew up and because of the color of his skin and how he was treated. So I think that this song replicates perfectly about how racism kind of still is in there today, and that change still does need to come in America today. So I thought that this song did a perfect job, and still it can be related to in our day-to-day lives. I mean, what is this, 20 years later? So that's what I see about this song here. Thank you.
Shape in the American mind. When the Americans say change, in the generality, they really mean progress. And when they say progress, they really mean, they don't know they mean this, they really mean how quickly and to what extent and how profoundly a black person becomes white. They take themselves quite helplessly as the only possible model of what they call change.
You write in your new book, it's very important for white people that black people should wish to be white.
Mm-hmm. And it is, but they don't wish to be white. That is how we get jazz. That is how we get all of these legends about black people. I'm accused of being more depraved than you, also freer than you. Your moral standards don't apply to me. Now this, I'm speaking now as a writer.
And that's insulting to both of us.
It is indeed. It is demeaning to both of us.
So in this interview of James Baldwin, he talks about change, and that word change, and what that really means to a black person and what that means to a white person. He talked about how change, and I go back to the song that we just looked at with Tupac, and he talked about change, and then he talked about that's the main thing that America needs to focus on in order to fix this problem of racism, and white people need to understand what they need to do to change and to get to that equality stage. And James Baldwin's talking about up in the video above, he's saying that change it's not more like change, it's progress, because it's definitely not where it needs to be, and I think that he's clearly showing that here in this and you can see that in this video. So